In this video, we're going to be talking about the different types of reports that are found within Drupal 8. So first of all, we're going to take a look at the types of reports that we can pull in Drupal 8. We're going to talk about where we can find those reports, and then we're going to dive into some of the more important reports that are available to us. So let's take a moment and take a look at all of the reports that are available to us within Drupal 8. So over here in our Manage section, if we click the drop down for Reports, it's going to give us a list of all of the different reports that are available. Now, we've already checked out the Available Updates report and kind of how to read that and understand what's going on there. The next one in the list is the Recent Log Messages. Now, from time to time, different modules will actually send out log messages to Drupal. And on this page, we can see what all of those log messages are. So, for example, we can see here that there's some issues with the make directory files, calls, and some README things here. We can see that a session was opened recently for a particular user, and that particular user was the admin user. So if you're getting things like people trying to hack into your site, sometimes you can see here that there was an attempted login. We can see here that my version of MAMP had an issue sending out an email to my email address, which is totally not a big problem here. We can see that cron was run. So this thing is going to give us a lot of information about what's going on our website. If you're having issues with your website, a lot of times this is one of the best places to start. Error messages, things like that, because we can click on these and it's actually going to give us a more detailed version of the message, and we can kind of go through here and check out and see what may potentially be wrong with our website. Again, like I said, one of the other big issues or things that we can get out of here is when people are maliciously trying to log into our website, we're going to get messages saying that there was a failed attempt at logging into the website. So this is a really great place to start if you're running into problems. The next one in our reports list is the fields list. And what this report is going to give you is just a list of all of the fields that are being used on your website and where they're being used. Sometimes you'll run into a situation where a module won't turn off because it's being used somewhere. And you may not know where exactly it's being used, especially if you have a large website. So in here we can come in and see, okay, there is a field called body. This is the format of that field, and it's being used in basic block. We can also see here that there's another field named body, and it's being used in basic page and in article. So we can kind of see here where just our fields are being used, and it really is just a list of fields and where they're at. Up next is the status report. Now I use this quite often on a lot of my sites, because it just gives you some status information about your website. So we know what version of Drupal we're using. We know the database system that we're using. Now the reason I use this a lot is because it also gives you information in regards to the plugins that you're using on your website. So for instance, you may be using the Views Slideshow module. Well, when using the Views Slideshow module, you need to go out and download jQuery Cycle, which is just a JavaScript plugin, and you need to place that in a specific place on your website. If you haven't done that, the module's probably going to turn on. You're going to be able to set up a view, but no slideshow functionality will be working. The status report page will tell you that the Views or the jQuery Cycle module just isn't installed on your site, or it's not installed in the proper place. So I use this page a lot to make sure that my third-party libraries are on the site and they're where they're supposed to be. Unfortunately, sometimes module developers just don't document their pages well enough, and you don't know that you need a third-party module. So you can come to this page and see, oh, is there a library out there that I'm supposed to be using that I'm not using? And then down below this, we can see that there's a top access denied errors. There's top pages not found errors. And these can be really useful if you see that a lot of people are navigating to a specific page that can't be found. Maybe you have a broken URL, and that URL needs to be corrected or forwarded to the place that you intend them to go, so that people just don't keep ending up on page not founds, and they get to the content that they're actually looking for. Same thing goes for the access denied errors. If it is a page that is particularly locked down for, subscribed users to your site, maybe you can convert that page into some sort of landing page to gather new subscribers to your website. Top search phrases. Now this page is going to just list off the top search phrases on your website. We're not using our search module right now, so if we were, we can find out what are people actually searching for most often on our website, and maybe we can make that content a little easier for them to find. Finally, after that, there is the Views Plugins report. And this is just going to give you a list of all of the different Views plugins that you're using and where they're being used. Now, occasionally you'll download a module that may add an extra report to this tab. In our case, this is pretty much the stock default reports section. There is a lot of information that you can pull out of this that can help make sure that your site is secure. For example, the updates. It can make sure that your site is functioning properly using the recent log messages to find out where your fields are. The status report to make sure that you're not missing anything. And then some additional reporting that's going to help you maybe make your site easier for people to use and easier to function. A lot of times reports, because they're not that interesting, can be ignored. However, within a Drupal installation, they offer you a lot of information that can help you make a better site, both functionally and usably. So that's the reports within Drupal 8. In this section, we've taken a look at updating modules, we've taken a look at updating Drupal core, and then we've looked into reading the different reports that are available to us within Drupal.